is a Coachman VIP 575. I'm going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. First of all, you've got your gas locker with gas regulator on the bulkhead. On top of the gas bottle, you've got your on and off valve, and you've got reverse thread fitment that goes into the gas bottle itself. Got your hitch, jockey wheel and handbrake, and main power lead going to the car. This again will demonstrate all of this here on site. Got your storage locker on the opposite side for storing bits and pieces in as you're travelling down the road. I'd try and keep it balanced if you can, with the gas bottles on the other side. Got your Aldi heating fluid on this side of the van. That is there essentially for the heating and hot water systems. Don't ever cover it up, leave it open so it can breathe the way it needs to. You then got your wind down legs on either side at the front of the van to stabilise the caravan. You'd never lift the caravan with these legs, they are just there for stabilising. If you lifted the caravan with them, it could potentially damage the floor of the van. Then got your water pump connection going into the side of the van. It drops down inside the aqua roll itself, and I'll show you how to fill the system from inside. You connect the pump by simply pulling out and pushing into the side of the van. Battery box and mains power lead come into the side of the van. We'll also behind there you've got your motor mover power switch, but we'll demonstrate the motor mover while you're here on site so you can see how that works and so you can see it's working as it should. We'll torque the wheel nuts to the correct manufacturer's settings, again so you can see they've been done correctly. So the fresh water that goes in the front of the van has to come out somewhere, and that's what these two grey pipes are here for. You have two bits of grey pipe that go into the large circle diameters on the outside. Push into there and they'll drop down inside the waste master. Coming to the back of the van, you have your toilet flush tank, which you'll take the cap off, one way or the other. You'll put 3.5 litres of water in there and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. In the bottom, you've got your toilet waste cassette. You pull up the green handle at the bottom here, or grey handle, sorry, and pull the cassette out. The neck here turns out so you can tip the waste away. And at the back of the cassette, you've got your grey pressure relief button, or blue pressure relief button, sorry. So when you are tipping the waste away, it doesn't split and splatter back at you. In that cassette, you'd put 1 litre of water and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. On either side of the van at the rear, you have your two wind down legs, again to stabilise the caravan. They are not there for lifting the van. Coming to the door side, you have your underbed storage, so you can access the storage underneath the bed. Behind the door, you have your two fridge vents. You can have the door across as it is now when you're on site, for instance. Wouldn't advise covering them any more than that because they do put out a bit of heat. And there's also a gas flue in there for when you're running the fridge on gas. 230 volt socket coming out of the van, so you can have power out to your awning, for instance. And then you have your barbecue gas point and your last of the wind down legs. When you come into the caravan, the first thing you need to do is turn on the power. So you've got power on this switch here, so you've got power on, as you can see. You've got your water pump run, on and off, internal lights and awning light for the outside of the caravan. And you do have some options coming through here which we advise you read the manual for. So you've got the temperature internal and the volts of the internal battery or the onboard battery. First thing you need to do though is fill the water system. So you're going to come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the van. Down in the corner, just underneath this seat just here, you'll see a yellow valve just there. Do apologise, it's not very clear. And a yellow valve further forward. Them two yellow valves need to be parallel with the floor for you to be able to fill the water system. If they're pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain all the water out of the system on board the van. So you do this for winter storage or when you're finished using the caravan on site. So like I said, both valves parallel with the floor before filling the water system up. Obviously you'd already have the aqua roll connected at this point, which is what you've already seen on the outside of the van. Once you've got the aqua roll connected and you've got the two yellow valves shut underneath the seat or parallel with the floor, you're going to come over to the taps and open them all on the hot side of the water heating or on the hot side of the water system. As you can see, I've already bled the system, so I'm actually going to shut the tap off. But you'd leave all of the taps open, so that's the sink in the kitchen, the sink in the bathroom and the sink on the shower. You'd open all those taps up, as I said, onto the hot side and have them fully open. To start with, there's going to be no water coming out of the system. Then you can go over to the control panel by the door and turn on your water pump. So it will say pump on, and at that point the water system will start filling. Once the water system's full, you'll have water running continuously out of every tap on board the caravan. And at that point you can then shut all of the taps off, so the water system is sealed back up. So like I said, you'd wait till water is running continuously out of every tap, then shut the taps off. You may notice when you first turn on the pump that it spits and splatters a little bit, and that is it. That is the water system getting the air out of it. Up above the door, you then have your control panel for heating hot water and heating the inside of the caravan. The little symbol here in the top left hand corner indicates to me that the heating pump is running for the heating system on board the van. Top right hand corner, you have the mains power coming into the caravan. Below that you have the current internal temperature of the van also. The menu button here you can press, and then you can go into the options for the caravan. So as you can see at the top there, you've got your internal room temperature with the thermometer inside the building. So you've got minus or plus to set the temperature inside of the caravan. I'm just going to turn it down for now because it's quite a warm day. Below that you have your water heating, so you've got water on and water boost. So you'll notice how when the bar's halfway up, that's water on, then water boost when it's fully to the top here. Below that you have the amount of power that's coming into the caravan from the site you are on. Now some sites, for instance, will only run on 1 kilowatt, they may run on 2 or 3 kilowatts also. This relates to the amount of power the heating and hot water system is going to be using, nothing else on board the van. So for instance here on site we can run 1 kilowatt, so I'm going to set it to 1, but you have got 2 or 3 available also in that control panel. So that is the heating and hot water system set up and ready to run. We're going to turn that heating actually completely off, I think. There we go. And we'll turn hot water on. So like I said, that'll be now boosting the hot water. There's 1 kilowatt of power coming into the van. So that's what I'm running the heating and hot water systems on, electric wise. Now if the gas bottle was turned on in the front locker and you wanted to use gas because you were off grid, for instance, you come inside the van, hit the flame symbol here at the bottom, and that will operate the Aldi heating and hot water on gas rather than electric. So if you're off grid as well, then you'd have the electric source turned off and you'd have the gas on instead. You don't have to leave it on continuously, but if you don't leave it on continuously and you've got programs set for your heating and hot water, etc., then it won't actually heat the system up. You may have just noticed then that I said heating and hot water timers. So you can actually set, by going into here and going through the manual for the caravan, heating and hot water timers to have the heating and hot water come on when you desire it to, the same as you do at home. Next thing when you come to is the fridge. Very simple to use. You've got power on this button here, or power off. So you've got power on. At the moment we're using mains power to power the fridge. And you've got a temperature control on the right hand side. You can use gas as an operation if you want to, so you can select the gas option, and again if the gas was turned on, the gas system would self-ignite, the fridge would start chilling, and you'd also then control the temperature of the fridge on the button on the right hand side. 12 volt mode is the cool box mode for chilling your beers and wine as you're going down the road, but however before you turned it on to 12 volt mode you'd need to make sure you're connected to the car that you were towing with. If you're not connected to a car and you're not towing down the road, then the 12 volt system won't work the fridge. So essentially it's drawing the 12 volt supply from the car, not the caravan. You have got an automatic option here, so if you press the automatic option, it will go to the power source that is available at that point. The warning light here on the end will flash if any of these power sources aren't coming on. For instance, if you've got no 240 mains, it will flash the warning light. If the gas hasn't ignited, it will flash the warning light. And as you heard with the 12 volt mode, it will actually bleep and indicate that there is no 12 volt source coming into the caravan. Microwave up above. Not quite sure how this one works, I must admit. Or even if it's turned on, so we'll have to turn that on in a moment. Microwave will work very much, I'd imagine, the same as a household microwave if you decide to use it. So to actually get the microwave to wake up, you have to open the oven door, and it will actually turn the screen back on up here. Then you can, as I said, you can control it off your control panels as you normally would. Cooker, hob and grill all work very much the same as your household. The electric ring will only work when you're on 240 mains. It will not work off 12 volt. So that when you're on grid, for instance, where you've got mains power coming to the van, then you could use that 240 ring as a heating source. Going into the bathroom, which is the last point of the caravan I'm going to go through. Toilet flush is on top. You have a light here to let you know when the toilet waste cassette isn't in the caravan. Light here to let you know when the toilet flush tank needs to be filled. A light here to indicate when the toilet waste cassette is half full. And we have a light here to indicate when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet does turn for your convenience. However, when you're removing the cassette from underneath the van, you need to make sure the toilet is square on with the back of the toilet unit itself. The reason being, if that toilet was turned, it won't allow you to remove the cassette from under the van, as it has two lockout tabs on top of it. At the front of the toilet, you have your grey waste handle, which you need to pull out when you are using the loo, and it allows the toilet waste to go in the cassette under the van. Any other time, I'd advise you have it pushed in so that any smells from the waste aren't coming back up inside of the van. If you have any further questions on the 2019 Coachman VIP 575, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We hope you enjoy the caravan, and we appreciate the business, and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon when you collect the caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.